What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Baby Sloth back at it again, bringing you a brand new video. And in today we're going to be taking a look at the best skill tree that the Nightstalker has available to it for PvP. Now, due to the recent Forsaken expansion, you little sneaky suckers have been blessed with Spectral blades. Yes, the Way of the Wraith is the best PvP subclass for the Nightstalker in my opinion, and one of the main reasons why Way of the Wraith is the best is because of Spectral blades. Now, beforehand, the Nightstalker didn't really have a very lethal super. You were relying on the tether, and as we all know, it was very inconsistent in the Crucible and also would not lead to very many kills. But Spectral blades, on the other hand, still isn't the most lethal supers that the Hunter has available to him, but in terms of the Nightstalker classes, it is definitely the most lethal one you can get. So how it works is very similar to that of Blade Dance from Destiny 1 in terms of how it actually looks, but it actually performs and acts very differently. Basically, you summon a pair of Deadly Void Blades that allows you to stalk the battlefield. Now, when you pop your super, you go into something called Veil of Shadows. This allows you to see through walls and you go invisible. Now, you can perform a quick melee attack by pressing RB. This is similar to Blade Dance, but it does not track upwards, therefore meaning that if someone jumps in the air, you're going to be pretty screwed because you're going to really struggle to reach them. Now, you also have the ability to perform a heavy attack, which is by pressing RT. Now, when you press this, it just does a big swipe, almost like a backflip looking motion, but when you do this, you will also gain True Sight again and go invisible. So I very much recommend that whenever using Spectral blades, you want to make sure you're trying to attack people quickly, moving, dodging with the quick attack, and then making sure right after you've killed someone, you press RT to gain True Sight again and start to plan out where your next target is going to be. Now, you are very squishy when you're in this super, so you aren't going to want to press many enemies. You have to still be quite smart in how you use it. Best practice and way to use it is to make sure that you're using your True Sight, finding out where the enemies are, most likely enemies that are on their own, and trying to pick them off. If you run into a big group of enemies, it's most likely not going to go too well for you, so try and refrain from doing that. But this super still can be very effective, but you just have to play smart with it. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's garbage, but it's not. As long as you use it smart and make sure you're going after the enemies that are on their own, or making sure that when you're going after enemies, other enemies aren't looking at you. There's a good example that I'm showing you in the background here, where I can see that there are multiple enemies to my right, but instead I choose to go to the enemies to my left, because if I went to the enemies on my right, the enemies on the left would kill me, and because you're not that tanky in the super, I would have got murdered. So to use this super, you're most likely going to be getting in casual 2 to 3 kills every time you pop it. In competitive, I'd be happy with a trade because it's not actually that incredible. Now, the next ability that this tree has available to it is Corrosive Smoke. Throw a smoke bomb from a distance with this melee ability. Smoke bomb slows enemies down and damage them over time. This is very actually effective. If you know that an enemy's going to be pushing you around a corner, or if someone's going to be coming through a doorway, you can throw this in that doorway and basically block off the exit, but if the enemy decides to run through it, they're going to be disorientated and it's going to start to damage them over time. This class has a lot of utility to it, and if you use all the tools available to you, you can actually be very competitive in the Crucible, and you're always going to have something you can use to hopefully turn the tide of a gunfight in your favour, and Corrosive Smoke is definitely one of them things. You're going to see in the background here, I'm picking up a few kills with it and making sure I'm always trying to make the most use out of it by always using it. A lot of people will hold on to abilities when they don't necessarily need to. If it's going to help you secure a kill, make sure you are using the smoke bomb. It is very effective. Next up is Shattering Strike. Now, this is a little bit of a shame. After performing Flawless Execution, your melee abilities weakened enemies. Now, most of the time, you're not going to be able to make much use out of this in PvP. Basically, after you get a precision kill while crouching, you're going to gain True Sight again. And then when that is going on, if you melee an enemy, they're going to basically become weakened from your attack. This is much more of a PvE ability than it is a PvP, but you still might be able to get some use out of it in the Crucible. And then moving on to one of the best perks on this skill tree, Flawless Execution. While crouch, precision kills grant invisibility, True Sight, and increased melee range. Now, when I first saw Flawless Execution, I thought that it wouldn't be a very effective PvP tool, but actually it turns out to be. It's a lot easier than you think to get crouch kills, crouch precision kills, especially if you're using a gun like a hand cannon or a pulse rifle. Now, also to bear in mind here, this also does proc when you are using a shotgun if you do slide. So using the Chaperone is very effective with this class, but in the higher ranks of Crucible, it's kind of difficult to get away with using the Chaperone when you've got people using Mindbender's Ambition. But for instance, if you're like someone that likes a shotgun rush and you are using this class, try and make the extra effort to aim to the head, because it could give you a vital advantage if you can get good at it for your next gunfight. But one of the main things I'd say when using this class, if you just crouch around the corner and start trying to outgun somebody, most of the time you're going to get your head taken clean off by someone if they've got a good shot because you're a stationary target. So what I would recommend is get quite good at crouch shotting or strafing into a crouch. So what this basically means is when you engage the gunfight, say for instance if you're using a pulse rifle like the Nightshade and you know it's a 3-burst kill, try and strafe while you're firing your first 2 bursts and then crouch on your 3rd burst. So you're going to move left to right and then crouch downwards. That's not only going to throw your opponent's aim off, but it's also going to allow you, if you do manage to pick up the kill with a precision kill, you're going to gain true sight. You're going to be able to see if any of the enemies are pushing you from any different angles and allow you to best prepare for the next gunfight, because this true sight is very effective in terms of just leading you to give you the advantage in the next gunfight, or simply seeing where the opposing team is rotating to, therefore giving you the best strategical intel and allows you to make the most informed decisions possible about what you want to do next and where you want to position yourself next, because you've got that information. So this perk is actually very, very good if you can master the crouch shotting aspect. It's a lot easier to crouch shot if you do have a Scuff controller or the Xbox Elite controller on PC. I'm not sure how that all works, but I can imagine you can keybind it to something. If you don't have the luxury of having one of them controllers, you can use the claw method, where you basically use your finger to press onto the pad buttons, but that's not something I can do. I'm not that gifted, but some people can do that. So if you're lacking on funds, you might just have to resort to that method, but it is very effective, and I'll definitely recommend, if you are planning on playing the subclass, crouch shotting is something that you get very good at to make the most out of flawless execution. Now this class is also gifted in terms of its grenades. You have the void wall grenade and you also have the spike grenade. Now out of these 2 grenades, I personally prefer the void wall grenade, even though I'm pretty sure the spike grenade is better. I'm just absolutely terrible at using it, but any 2 of them grenades are very, very viable, and I'd recommend getting good with both of them if you do plan to main this class. Now in terms of what exotics are good when using this class, you have an exotic called Gwen's Vest, which is new to Forsaken. This basically, after vanishing and getting a Spectral blade to kill, you get more super energy, so it makes the super a lot more effective, and if you have this, I would definitely recommend putting it on. You also have the old Fateful Foe Tracer, marks targets, buffs damage to low health marks. So basically what this does is if you hit an enemy, they're going to be marked on the map and you're going to be able to know where they're coming from next. So it's just an overall quality of life exotic. You have the Stompies, which are pretty much a staple in the Crucible at the moment. Buff sprint speed, slide and jumping, just overall allows your mobility to be a lot smoother. And you probably have the best one for the Hunter right now. If you are lucky enough to get this, I'd recommend putting it on immediately for the Crucible and get good with it. The 6 Coyote, gain a 2nd dodge charge. Now this is very, very effective. It doesn't seem that overwhelmingly effective, but when you have actually 2 dodges in terms of outplay potential that you get with this, it actually ups that very much. So you're able to outplay a lot of opponents if you know how to use this correctly. So if you do have the 6 Coyote, I would definitely recommend giving it a whirl. But that's pretty much been it from me, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this guide. I hope that it's gave you some tips on how to use the subclass, and also if you're looking at playing the Nightstalker, knowing which skill tree you're going to be most optimal with. If you do like these guides, please feel free to leave a like, and if you would like to see any more, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are following this guide series that I'm doing, please consider subscribing. But that's been it from me, guys. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day.